It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 5th day of July, 2022. Coming to you live from Manning, South Carolina. Manning, South Carolina is right near Sumter, about 50 miles south of Florence, somewhere in that neighborhood, along I-95, and of course, I'm at McDonald's. This, folks, is unusual for a McDonald's. I am not on their Wi-Fi. For some reason, and it might just be where my car is, I was getting no signal at all. So, in lieu of having not a whole lot of time, I went on and hooked up to the hotspot on my phone. So I'm running the signal through the phone, so if it's iffy, that's why. Alright, get that out of the way first. Alright, so this, of course, is Travel and Cruise Industry News for the 5th day of July. Air travel soars despite the chaos is the lead story this morning. And today, folks, is National Apple Turnover Day. I like apple turnovers. I couldn't actually get an apple turnover this morning, but I had an apple fritter instead, which of course is somewhat similar. Little action on cruise ships sailing from North American ports today. In New York, Manhattan, you've got the Oceania Insignia sailing down in West Palm Beach. Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. From San Francisco, the Carnival Miracle. Seattle, the Carnival Splendor. Anchorage, you've got the Radiance of the Seas and the Majestic Princess land packages. Fairbanks, you've got Radiance of the Seas, Majestic Princess, Norwegian Bliss, Norwegian Encore, Grand Princess, and Nieuw Amsterdam land packages, all getting underway today. Headlines today: besides air travel soars despite chaos, Hurricane Bonnie roars, and Royal Caribbean updates Quantum of the Seas engine issues, and a whole lot more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. If you do listen via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from, all the big hitters, the iHeartRadios and the Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music and Stitcher and Pandora and all those guys. And if you are listening via the podcast, and whenever I use pictures or clips, like I am this morning, you can always jump over to the video feed, go down to the description, and there will be a link to the video feed anytime you want to switch over and then come back to your podcast anytime you want. So, okay. Got several things to cover here this morning. First, I guess, let's get the weather out of the way. Hurricane Bonnie, is, other than a little movement, has not done a whole lot recently as far as change in direction or change in strength. It's about 200 miles or so south-southwest of Zihuatanejo, Mexico. Maximum sustained winds 105 miles an hour. She's moving west-northwest at 17. Pressure still relatively low at 972. A west-northwestern to westward motion with some decrease in forward speed is expected during the next couple days. On the forecast track, the core of Bonnie is expected to move parallel to, but remain south of the coast of southern and southwestern Mexico through Friday. Maximum sustained winds are at 105 now, with higher gusts possible. Some fluctuations in strength are possible through Thursday. Gradual weakening trend is expected after that. Hurricane force winds are extending about 25 miles out. Tropical force winds about 105 miles out. So it's a relatively good-sized storm out there in the Pacific. The outer rain bands of Bonnie could cause some flooding during the next day or two across southern and southwestern Mexico. And the biggest problem is going to be the surf and the tides, as they could be life-threatening surf and rip current conditions all up and down the western coast of Mexico. So, now, I promised yesterday that I would share with you some of the things from Hot Air Time. You know, Hot Air Time is over there in the Norwegian Pearl, which sailed out of Boston. And of course, he went out and had a lobster dinner and had to show it to me, since he knows how much I like lobster and I'd be jealous. And then this has some lovely scenery up there. It's just fantastic. And that, of course, is Hot Air Tom down in the caves. And he shared this with us.
From soda straws, okay? If you remember, soda straw is hollow, therefore it reaches all the way back up to the earth. Now, you get the metal sound from them because we do have iron deposits. So the brown that you actually see on this rock is iron, okay? So therefore hitting it sounds like you're hitting a piece of metal, all right? So again, this is the sardine room or the music cave. Now, leaving this particular area, we have to go through Sardine Alley.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's the caves. And then after that was over with, Hot Air Tom did his cliff diving impression. And that, my friends, was Hot Air Tom. He does know how to do these excursions up. I'm not even sure who filmed it, because I don't think Cindy goes out on these silly things that he does. Anyway, nice sunset over Bermuda last night. And they were docked next to Adventure of the Seas, which he said they did a paint job. I didn't notice that when I was on her. And a nice view there from Bermuda of the port area. So that's Hot Air Tom. He's not going to be with us today because he's doing something silly again. I don't remember what he was doing, but another one of his crazy excursions. So they're in Bermuda again today, still in Bermuda, of course. All right, I'll be back with today's news right after word from one of our network sponsors. And on with today's news. What a travel day it was this weekend. Just unbelievable and surprising. With actually, it wasn't worse than it was, but Pandera era record number of people took to the skies over the 4th of July weekend in the U.S. despite the prediction of chaotic air travel. Nearly 2.5 million people passed through U.S. security checkpoints on Friday. Another 2.2 million were screened on Saturday. 2.1 million on Sunday. 26.9% of U.S.-based carrier arrivals were delayed, with an average delay of 51 minutes. Another 464 flights were canceled. Of the major U.S. airlines, JetBlue had the highest delay rate, 42.7% of its Friday weekend flights. Southwestern had 33.8. United and American both had around 30. Delta and American had the highest number of cancellations at 117, 113 respectively. That was only around 4% of their total planned flights. Airlines struggled on a busy holiday weekend even before the pandemic. Daily delay rates hovered around 20%. In the past, and it's just roughly twice that. There were some generally good things, however. One, the weather helped us a lot. The weather was pretty good around the country, so that kept from having big weather delays. The U.S. airline delays eased considerably yesterday as weather kept improving, and as the 4th of July holiday weekend came to an end. As of yesterday afternoon, about 1,200 U.S. flights were delayed. 183 were canceled, down from nearly 4,700 delays and more than 300 cancellations on Sunday. And that's according to, of course, Flight Tracker on the site Flight Aware. And just as a side note, folks, a personal side note, 4th of July usually means a bump in gas prices as millions take to the road. This weekend, however, they continue to go down. Now, I'm thinking that maybe they were charging too much before the 4th of July. But I paid as low as $4.39 yesterday in Florida, which is down almost 40 cents since I drove to Florida, 10 days ago. I did pay a little more than that in South Carolina this morning. I paid for $49. However, I just saw a sign when I pulled in here at a $4.29, which is the cheapest I've seen. So gas prices are at least slowly coming down, even though this is still a lot of people returning home from the holiday weekend. All right, Royal Caribbean has updated the situation on Quantum of the Seas. Those of you recall, Quantum is having some engine issues up there in Alaska. Royal Caribbean has provided guests with an update on the engine issues, although the problems are not safety related. The cruise line announced last week that it was changing itineraries as the vessel cannot reach maximum speed. Royal Caribbean has decided to skip sailing Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier. While disappointing, it does mean that the guests do not miss out on any port time. I'm wondering balance in which is more important. I'm thinking back, 3 weeks ago when I was on Quantum. Yeah, I enjoyed the ports, but man, I wanted to see the glacier, which I wasn't able to do because of the ice flow then. They had to turn around before they actually got to it. Anyway, impacted guests were informed that sailings now from August 1st, 8th, and 15th have been adjusted. The itinerary changes have prompted Royal Caribbean to increase compensation package it's offering to the guests. To help make up for these changes, we've increased the compensation offered. You'll now receive 1 full day of your cruise fare paid per person as an onboard credit. These credits can be used anytime on board, and if at the end of the cruise you have a remaining amount left over, it will be refunded to your card on file. So they're taking away the glaciers and giving you 1 day of free cruising, if I understand that correctly. Previously, Royal Caribbean offered guests an interior and ocean view staterooms $75, balcony $100, and suites $200. I said then that wasn't enough. Guests who are unhappy with the compensation offered or want to go to the 2 glaciers, but with a different company or ship, can avail of a full refund at any time on the paid portion of the cruise. So that's what's happening with Royal Caribbean up there in let's see. And they say, folks, that this is all because of the supply issues. They can't get parts, which we keep hearing that over and over and over again. But these companies are not able to get the parts that they need. So I guess Quantum, at some point they're going to have to send Quantum into a dry dock to get repairs. So, and I can see they're trying to get something out of Alaska. But wow. I hate that for the folks that are booked on it. All right, that's it for the news today. Let me pop over and see who is in the chat room. We know that Hot Air Tom is elsewhere. All right, let's see. I'm glad we're driving to Baltimore for our next cruise. Yeah, well, you from Pittsburgh, that's not bad. Not down to Baltimore. I'm going to really be interested to see how that cruise goes, Jason. I'm looking forward to your reports from that one. Cindy's with us. Good morning, Cindy. Mike's here. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Melissa. Hi, Melissa. I have to tell you a story about Melissa. I started to share this yesterday and got sidetracked. Melissa was on the JJ Cruise group cruise with us. And the very first day I got in the pool, remember, folks, I had not tried getting in the pool, any pool, even my pool at home, without oxygen. I have always had my long tube tied to the tank, which limited my movement. So I didn't have a tank of oxygen, obviously, on the cruise. So I got over in the water and started treading water a little bit. Melissa was also in the water. She may have had a cocktail. Most everybody had cocktails at the time but me, because I was struggling with swimming and treading water. I don't really swim, but anymore. And how can I say this delicately? My arms in the swimming or treading water motion happened to bump Melissa's butt. So, and it was a magical butt bumping. And so from then on, it was the Chillie grabbed Melissa's ass, and it worked. And so I did really well on the water after that. So Melissa, I enjoyed your butt in the water, and I enjoyed you totally. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, love Melissa to death. Melissa was so much fun. That whole group that we were on was so much fun. So, well, Melissa, glad you're here with us this morning. Good quality on the phone. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I was a little worried about it. I can't believe there's not a signal where I'm sitting. It's got to be. I probably could have moved the car and found something, but I didn't. Nikki's with us. Hi, Nikki. I did, Nikki, as I was going around Jacksonville yesterday. Oh, excuse me, my throat's frogging up. I did go across the bridge again, only from the south this time. And I had figured out how to film going across it, so that will be a posting here shortly going across the Jacksonville Bridge. I'm going to turn that into a film. So there's a Sonic right besides that McDonald's. You should go there. Yeah, there is a Sonic. I saw that when I pulled in. How'd you know that? Is that behind me? You can see it through the car. I don't know how you know that. Lizzie Lou's with us. Hi, Lizzie. He made a big splash. Yes, I did. Carol's here. Hi, Carol. Jason, thank you very much, Jason, for the super chat. Katie's with us. Hi, Katie. Bonnie's here. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie, for your super chat this morning. That's awesome. Thank you. Katie says you're in Manning. I stay in Florence when I drive north. And by the way, that's something else that I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to do a video on that hotel I stayed at last night which is technically considered Savannah, but it was extraordinarily nice. Of course, I had a handicap accessible room, but really, really nice and dirt cheap for being on I-95. I mean, I paid less than $100 on an I-95 room, and the place was gorgeous. Plus, it had breakfast this morning. It was great. Pete's with us. Hi, Pete. Good to see you again. Let's get Chillie a tank of gas. Thank you, Jason. Bonnie says, I watched the JJ Crew video. You look great. I tell you what, I was so tickled, Bonnie, with being able to exercise. Now, yeah, folks, I realize my exercise is not like a lot of you do in the gym, but to actually get some exercising in the water, without being tied to an oxygen tank. And the biggest one, the last day I did an hour and 20 minutes total. So, yeah, I was able to, 4 days in a row, I was in the water and exercising, and I'm looking forward to getting home and getting in my pool, hopefully tonight. I've got about, I don't know, 5 hours to go, something like that, to get home after the show here. So I'll have time to get in the pool tonight, I hope. Let's see, where are we over here? Melissa says, love you anytime it's yours. Thank you, Melissa. I'm sure your husband would object to that too, but that's neither here nor there. I love Melissa to death. That was just absolutely fantastic group. Nikki says the official name is Napoleon Bonaparte Broward Bridge. Wow. But the locals call it Dames Point Bridge. Okay. Well, when I do that, that will be in the audio portion. Bonnie says she loves Laura and Fane. That's the first time I've met Laura and Fane, and yes, I like them a lot. And Guga and Rob were there. I like them. I enjoy them a lot. Well, enjoy them personally because I've been with them, talked to them a little bit more than I had Laura and Fane. But yeah, it was a good week. And anyway, all right, that's it, guys. I'm gonna have to get on the road again. Maybe I should sing. I'll sing after I get off the machine here. Got to get all this processed before I get rolling and head on for Virginia. So I'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, 11 o'clock for travel and cruise industry news and the latest updates around the world of cruising. So appreciate each and every one of you guys being with me. I'll see you again tomorrow. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all meet on the high seas. This is the old fat travel guy. Have a fantastic day.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.